Okay guys, welcome back. So that's it. The summer tours are over. We're going to talk about England and Ireland.
Yep.
So they played their 3-match test series.
Yeah.
Let's start with England this time because we don't normally. Al, what did you make of the game?
Scrappy. Conditions didn't help that. I thought England came with a much more well-prepared game plan for South Africa in that third test. I don't think their plans had worked in the first and second, and actually I think the conditions kind of played into that plan a lot better than the South Africans managed the game.
Oh, definitely. England managed that game like pros. I mean, that wet weather game, England can play that wet weather game really well, and they executed it absolutely perfectly. Yeah. I mean, first of all, I would say though, Al, that South Africa were the best team in this series.
Oh,
okay. They've wiped this series. That was a standalone one-off game.
Yeah.
I wouldn't call that part of the series particularly because South Africa were trying different players. The mindset's a little bit harder to get motivated for. England's mindset was very easy to get motivated for. So that's just worth bearing in mind. You know, England were worth the win. Absolutely dominant. I thought, even though the score was close throughout, I thought they dominated that game. You know, they were always ahead in that kicking battle. Yeah, exactly.
And as good as Cipriani was, Elton Jantjies was pretty poor, wasn't he? Yeah. It showed that at the moment, there's a huge gulf in between him and Pollard at the moment for that South African 10, isn't there?
Yeah, I feel a little bit sorry for him because, Pollard is definitely better. We thought we said he was at the beginning, but then when Jantjies gets his game, it's in the wet. Yeah, exactly. When the series is already over. Yeah, exactly. So he's a little bit harsh. Yeah. But no, it didn't go well for him.
Cipriani, does he start header forward for you?
Well, he's one game. Yeah. But it's actually worked out well for him because, yes, Cipriani probably would look better on a dry day. Yeah. Yeah. But he needed to show Eddie Jones that he could start in tough conditions and play a disciplined, tactical game, and that's exactly what he did. Yeah. With a little bit of magic at the end.
Yeah, I mean, and that's exactly that. Johnny May tries exactly why you put him in the team. Yeah. It's that how he sees that, which I'm not convinced that George Ford, Owen Farrell, Henry Slade. I'm not sure the others would necessarily see that and be able to execute it as well. Bouncing the ball was lucky.
It is. Did he get calls or did he see it purely himself? I don't know. But I think Cipriani's put himself in a great place.
Yeah, he has.
I mean, he's been ready for that for a couple of years now. So it's a bit late, but better late than never.
Yeah. So he's timed it well for the World Cup, though, isn't he?
Absolutely. He's the right. He's the right age for the World Cup. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Very experienced. Top level player, if not international. Yeah. No, absolutely. So if it's a case of him and Ford as your 2 10s for the World Cup, absolutely fine.
Yeah, you don't necessarily have an issue with that, do you?
No.
One person I thought hasn't convinced me, and I don't think has got legs anymore, and that's Nathan Hughes.
Okay, let's talk about Nathan Hughes. He always looks a little unfit when I see him for England. Yeah. Maybe he is. And he's got massive issues with habits in his ball carrying. Yeah. Massive issues. I mean, that Faf de Klerk hit on him was epic, okay? Yeah. But it was all Hughes' fault. I mean, de Klerk got it dead right, don't get me wrong. But Hughes absolutely should have boshed him or pushed him aside or something like that. He had a nice pick up off the base, had a little run up, and he goes bolt upright and stays still. Yeah. It's really poor. So it is a problem. It is a problem. So, if you're looking for another big number 8 to replace Billy Vunipola, who else is it going to be?
But I don't necessarily know whether for me personally, I don't think the guy coming off the bench needs to be a Billy Vunipola.
But I mean, start if Billy's injured, which is very possible. Who starts?
There's got to be a few more, hasn't there?
Well, who?
Yeah, no, that's what I mean. There's got to be a few more.
Comment below who you think could do the job as well at that level. Yeah. It's an interesting one.
I mean, Sam Simmonds, I think, is that slight X factor coming off the bench, isn't he? With 20 to go, the extra pace, completely different game to Billy Vunipola.
Or maybe you go all in with Sam Simmonds. Yeah, absolutely. Anyway, he's a definite worry.
Yeah, he is, isn't he?
Yeah. I mean, England's kicking out of 9, 10 and 12 in that game was outstanding.
Yeah, it was good.
In those sorts of games, Ben Young looked world class.
Yeah.
On the flat, dry, hard deck, then obviously de Klerk cleaned the floor with him. So, you know, that's worth bearing in mind. Plus, maybe he's getting back to fitness, so...
Yeah, I think it's that, isn't it? De Klerk plays very much like Danny Care in that way, doesn't he? Very quick, very pacey, snipes around the blind.
Even quicker.
And if you're playing against someone like Faf de Klerk, do you go as a like-for-like scrum half who can kind of read what he's going to do?
Yeah.
Rather than Ben Youngs, who's a distributing, kicking 9.
Well, it's interesting. So one of the big factors that helped England win there was that awesome penalty count.
Yeah.
They were so... I mean... They'd been absolutely smashed during the week.
Yeah,
don't get me wrong.
Yeah.
They'd been told you have to be cool. You can't lose your heads like this.
Yeah.
And they were very cool, very controlled. You could see it in their faces. They were really, really desperate to keep everything, a lid on everything, and they did. And they show they can do it. But how they got to the state where, you know, they've been losing their heads for a while now, and then suddenly the pennies dropped that, you know, this was the bedrock of their success is them having cool heads.
And I don't see how that's a difficult problem to solve either, really.
Well, I have a theory.
Yeah, go.
I have a theory. So, okay. Yep. So my theory is what's happened to England is over the first 2 years, England had established a very solid game plan, right?
Yeah.
Based on defence, set piece, cool heads, good kicking, all that sort of stuff. Okay. Then after the 2 years, rightly so, I think they thought we can do more with this. Okay, and we thought on the channel that's a good idea. And Eddie Jones had talked about speeding up the game, running teams off their feet, blah 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 blah. They tried it in the Six Nations. Awful. They couldn't handle it. You know, they were losing their ball. They weren't getting over the gain line. Now, whether the players aren't suited or quite good enough to play that sort of game, maybe. Maybe they're just not used to doing it. Possibly.
Yeah, maybe.
But it didn't work, and they tried it again in the first 2 tests against South Africa. Quick game, couldn't deal with it, couldn't do it.
No.
All of a sudden, when he had to go back to a slower, controlled game, brilliant.
Yeah.
So maybe England now need to reset for this World Cup year. They've almost wasted a year and say, right, we need to play controlled, kicking game, high pressure, really cool heads, keep the penalty count low. Don't worry if the other side do some amazing piece of flair. Just stay in it, stay on our game.
But then that's where the more reliable players in the squad, that's where they come into their own, isn't it? People like Mike Brown, for that controlled, solid game, come back in. Chris Robshaw's another one. Controlled, solid, does a job.
Joe Marler.
Joe Marler was outstanding on Saturday, I thought.
But if the conditions were fast and hard, maybe they wouldn't have looked so good. That's all I'm saying.
No, that is true. That's true. Anyway. But for a bit of control, decent defence, I think that's where those players come into their own.
It was really good to see Curry actually have a his best game of the season on a pitch that might not have suited him as such because he's such a young guy. On that sluggers pitch, he looked really good.
Yeah, he did.
So that's a big tick in his box.
Yeah, definitely.
For such a young guy.
As it is at the moment, Underhill's got a little bit of a nudge, hasn't he?
I still think so.
It's slight nose in front.
Yeah.
Curry in a couple of years' time will be pretty good.
I mean,
if not more. But then you got his brother coming in as well, and that could be quite the 6-7 could be interesting.
Yeah, very interesting. I mean, a couple of other things. It looks like it's set up for Hartley to return if he does recover from his concussion. Hopefully he does. It looks, you know, George hasn't done enough. He was better in that game, for sure. Dan Cole may well make a swift return as well.
Yeah.
We were umming and erring whether those guys were maybe on the way out and the younger, quicker guys were coming through, but maybe England aren't just suited for that quick game yet.
No, true.
Anyway,
true.
So, you know, on the plus side, I was trying to look at the plus side, we've finished on a high. Hopefully we've realised our limitations and now need to readjust the game plan to meet those. And we're underdogs now. Definite underdogs coming into the Six Nations and the World Cup.
I mean, the only place of issue that I still have, which I'd like to see them try and work out, is who is playing at 12 if Farrell gets injured.
Yeah, no idea.
And that, I mean, do they go as a Bundy Aki with Ben Teo? Do they put someone like that?
Yeah.
Someone a bit bigger, ball carrier, Tuolangi, do they play him at 12?
Yeah, I think they're going to have to try that sort of option.
I think we need to see it because Farrell could get injured at any stage.
Well, I mean, the other option is, of course, if they want to go like for Farrell, they need to play someone like a Lazowski there, potentially.
Yeah, true. But that's a massive issue for me,
absolutely.
Isn't it?
And who plays 13? I mean, Slade has been chat about, did Slade play well in this tournament? Individually, in isolation, he did play well.
Yeah, he did, yeah.
It's just in that combination of a Cipriani, Farrell, Slade, or a Ford, Farrell, Slade, doesn't make any sense to me if you want to be world class.
No.
Because it's got no attacking threat. Or not much, anyway.
So Joseph still nose in front for you?
If he can get back to full fitness and have a good season for Bath, because he hasn't had a good season.
No, not this year.
For a little bit.
No.
So yeah, big questions, but at least it's hopefully reset them and kind of brought them back down to earth of what they need to do to be successful.
Yeah. Well, I think Eddie Jones needs to know he needs to get it right, because he's a bit chopping block at the moment, isn't he?
Yeah. Okay, let's finish on a more positive note for the Northern Hemisphere teams.
Yeah.
That was Ireland's big series victory in Australia. I mean, the game was backwards and forwards. Both sides could have won that game.
Yeah.
But once again, Ireland come out on top.
Yeah.
There was some chat about refereeing decisions and bits and pieces, but that can go both ways.
Yeah.
So I'm not going to get into that too much.
No.
What did you make of it?
I thought it was really good. I mean, Ireland have shown that when push comes to shove, you'd back them to win.
Yeah.
Whether they win with a bit of flair, whether they win just by playing a bit of dogged, kicking-based rugby.
They can play tight games, driving mauls very well.
You back them. They've got a decent pack. They've got an outstanding set of half-backs, and their back line is becoming settled and really dangerous.
Yeah. Absolutely, yeah, and they came through the fight again there. I mean, we're again in this review, we're more concerned about going forward, what's going to happen. Yeah. I mean, the debate I put out last video about do they expand more, do they offload more, do they run different lines? Varying responses, many pointing out that they can offload and they have done some very nice stuff, which they absolutely have.
Yeah,
but they don't do it as a matter of course. It's not like something they're told to do a lot.
Yeah.
But I'm thinking, no, I don't think it is worth changing particularly.
No.
What about you, Al?
I just think if it's working, if it's not broken, why fix it?
I think so.
For me, I think it seems a bit nonsensical to change things that work.
I mean, the lesson is in England. England completely changed their game plan for this year, and it's gone completely, on its head.
Up the spout, wasn't it?
Up the spout, absolutely. So why would they jeopardise that?
Yeah.
It makes no sense whatsoever, having thought about it. So I'm saying no, stick with what they're doing.
Yeah, I think the other massive positive for Ireland, which ironically England don't have, is that they now know where their strength and depth is.
Yes.
They've been able to get youngsters in. Joey Carberry, they know can stand up at international level at fly half. They know that they've got three very good hookers coming behind Rory Best.
Yeah, poor old Cronin didn't get his start, got injured in the warm up. That's a shame.
Yeah,
but we know what he can do, and all three of them look perfectly capable of playing instead of Best.
And then second row and back row, they've got a wealth of players as well.
Yeah, maybe they could have given their nines a bit more time. I like the fact they brought Conan in to give him some more international experience in that game. Yeah, absolutely. They've got your young back threes in there, Conway. Lama. So the depth is there, the game plan's there. Do they expand? I'm saying no. Comment on that. Any problems they have are kind of quite good problems, like what to do with it when O'Brien comes back.
Yeah.
I mean, that's a pretty good problem.
Yeah.
You can even put him on the bench. Well, I don't know.
That's the thing, isn't it? At the moment, in that Irish team, he doesn't get in, does he?
I don't know. I'm a massive O'Brien. Fully fit, I would probably find a space for O'Brien personally, but it's a good debate. What would you do if fully fit O'Brien came back right now?
Yeah.
No, but it's all good problems. Can they win the World Cup with that team? Of course they can. Okay, no one is going to be as good as New Zealand. I'm pretty certain that's going to be the case.
No, and again, France played well at the weekend.
Got battered.
And still got battered. So I mean, New Zealand are way ahead.
That's it.
And they've got Kieran Reid to come back in.
And they got a few guys to come over. Talek, I think, to come back in. Players like that. They're going to be the best. I'm pretty sure. It's who's second best. Who's got the next best chance of winning the World Cup? And at the moment, it's Ireland. Yeah, for sure. And if you talk about the World Cup, I've heard all this silly stuff saying, What if they meet New Zealand in the quarter-finals, semi-finals? So they've got to play them at some point. That's a load of rubbish. They want to play them in the final.
Yeah.
Okay. Everyone wants to play New Zealand in the final, not before.
Yeah, exactly.
And they've got a chance of beating them. Okay.
Yeah.
Yes, New Zealand will have a high percentage chance of beating them, and anyone. But Ireland do have a game plan that could beat New Zealand. If they,
exactly.
You know, keep the errors low. If they force the mistakes from New Zealand, if Ireland keep possession, you know, their big goal for Ireland is just to get ahead of teams a bit more. For the possession they have, for the territory they have, they need to build a bigger score. Okay, maybe not do anything crazy outlandish, but just execute, just get over that gain line, score a couple more tries, maybe get a couple of drop goals, bits and pieces, just to creep it slightly further ahead. Because when a side like New Zealand just goes on the counter-attack and scores, you know, Rico Ioane could score just like that, you need to have a bigger buffer.
Exactly.
So that's their goal, I would say, for next year.
Agreed. Cool. Right, put you on the spot quickly.
Oh, great.
Right, player of the series for England.
Johnny, mate, easy.
Agreed. Yeah, spot on. Player of the series for Ireland?
Murray, I'd say.
Okay.
Yeah, absolute class. You know, what do they do without him? Well, I don't quite know yet which scrum half's going to step up, but yeah.
Guys, if you've got any of your player of the series that differ to ours, then comment below. Be interesting to see who you think.
Excellent. Any comments on those two videos? Fantastic. It's going to be a nice little summer break now, and we'll see you back after, in the build-up to those autumn internationals. Until then, catch you later.